a feasibility study for step 1, conducting a preliminary analysis. Yes, my study will meet an underserved need for older adults with dementia or Alzheimer's disease who currently lack social interaction, which can benefit them cognitively by engaging their brain. Demand does exceed supply in this case. By 2030, 22% or 70.2 million Americans will be 65 plus years of age, and as the older adult population increases, so will the number of individuals with dementia or Alzheimer's. Yes, the lack of research currently surrounding social interventions in OT there demonstrates that there is a need for OT involvement in this area, especially since research supports increased socialization and reducing the risk of developing dementia and slowing disease progress. And there is a large availability for opportunities in the Chicagoland area with this client population due to the large population of that area. There are no financial requirements required for entry into this study. However, participants must be in a skilled nursing facility and have Alzheimer's disease or dementia. There are no large associated costs. The only potential costs consist of the chosen cognitive assessment, which will vary based on what is available at the facility. There are no known preventative factors as associated with preventing marketing. And one way that this will be accounted for, especially with the lasting impact of COVID-19, is using the program outline in a brochure and speaking face-to-face with OTs on the findings and how similar programs can be beneficial. And there's also the possibility of distributing the information via virtual means. For step 2, preparing a projected income statement. The direct costs consist of the cost of the cognitive assessment and the scoring sheets being used to establish baseline and determine progress during the study, as well as supplies for the intervention such as paper, printers, markers, etc. And indirect costs consist of electricity and other maintenance fees associated with utilizing space and running the program in the SNF. And in the future, if OTs decide to use these interventions, then reimbursement as what is based on the length of the intervention itself. For step 3, conducting a market survey. The geographic influence of Chicago and the Cook County area. So Cook County is the largest county in Illinois, and the city of Chicago makes up a large portion of that county. So there is a large population that is very diverse. Chicago is the third largest city in the U.S. The growth rate is declining, however, at a rate of negative 0.22% yearly. The average household income is $85,837, and Chicago makes up just over a quarter of the wider Chicago, Joliet, Naperville metropolitan area population. Cook County, as I was saying, the largest county in Illinois, it has an estimated population of 5,132,480, and it has a growth rate of negative 0.47% in the last year. For demographics, this chart here just shows the different races that make up the Cook County and Chicago area, just to give an idea of the different demographics and cultures that might be taking part in the program. These are the different cultural factors as shown by the different languages in older adults, 65 plus years of age in Cook County. With each different language, that brings the possibility of different cultures being brought in, so that will also need to be accounted for when conducting the study. The purchasing power, as I was mentioning before, the average income in Chicago is around $85,000. This just shows their comparison of the Chicago spending when compared to the United States, and Chicago is shown by the purple. For competing services in the city of Chicago, there are senior services such as the assisted living information, caregiving assistance, congregate dining program, also known as the Golden Diners program, satellite senior citizens. Many facilities have OTs that complete home assessments, which this one strength of this is that they provide evidence for recommending home modifications to support safely aging in place. However, the main weakness, which my study will start to go into detail on, is lacking interventions to promote social engagement in this client population. Some market expansion opportunities consist of reaching out to SNFs and OTs in the area and providing them with an outline of the program and the interventions, along with supportive findings from the study, and a brief literature review supporting the proposed program and just showing more evidence as to why it would be beneficial to implement them. For step 4, planning business organization and operations. The physical space and location requirements consist of an open room with space to move around about the size of a classroom, as well as having wheelchair-accessible tables and good lighting. Some supply availability consists of the cognitive assessment, preferably the Montreal Cognitive Assessment. However, any cognitive assessment the facility has available can be used, and we'll need enough scoring sheets to collect baseline and record progress at follow-up testing. And other supplies consist of blank paper and crayons or markers. For step 6, reviewing and analyzing all data. Is it achievable? Yes, there is a need for the program. An appropriate number of potential participants are available, especially in Cook County. This can be accomplished in an appropriate time frame, around 4 to 6 weeks, which allows for plenty of time to examine all data and complete the final thesis before the due date at the end of the semester. For risks and contingencies, the likelihood of significant change in OT interventions with this population is likely following my study. Since many interventions currently focus on physical safety, this research will show the benefits of social interventions and engaging the brain, and by maintaining that level of cognition or even potentially improving it, it will also improve safety as well. And the benefits of these interventions are aimed at engaging the brain, which will demonstrate a need for more interventions and programs like this in the future. For step 7, making a go or no-go decision. Yes, there is a commitment to make the necessary sacrifices in time and effort, and yes, it will be conducted over 4 to 6 weeks and will improve future interventions for older adults with dementia, which will actively partially satisfy long-term aspirations. And this feasibility study does look like it will support my thesis project idea. And what I learned from this is that I need to create a solid list of interventions for the program and determine what ones I believe have the greatest potential to be the most effective with this population, and I need to determine the study design and the makeup and how we'll break up the groups. And based on this, I determined that my study is a go. And here are my references.